All right, good morning, Freedom Team. It is good to have you here. It's good to be here. If you are a guest with us, welcome. You're always welcome. We are here every Tuesday morning and doing some big things. A lot of stuff going on. Hopefully, your business is doing well. Hopefully, things are picking up. I'm talking to agents every day. It seems so different in every city out there. I mean, some are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm as busy as I've ever been." Some are like, "Yeah, no, we're sitting here waiting on things to happen." Some are, we got more listings on the market here in Colorado Springs than we've had since 2014. So it's just different, everybody I talk to. So anyway, if we're excited to have you here. So I'm going to turn it over to Kathy. We do this again every week. You're always welcome. Spread the word. Come join us. It's the same Zoom link every time, freedomteamzoom.live. Tomorrow, if you guys are free, come join us same time, and we just do an open mastermind. A lot of times we'll talk about this training. We'll kind of recap things and, but Q&A, whatever you guys want to talk about. And that's always good as well. So Kathy, why don't you introduce Stacey? My goodness, we got a powerhouse in here today.
We got a powerhouse here today. So many of you guys may know Stacey from Ohio. She's actually been with us for a while. Stacey, how many years you've been with us now?
6.5.
6.5. She's been here 6.5, and she's 7-time icon. So in her first half year here, she iconed, and then the following year she's icon. So she is going to talk today about how to go from 10 million to 25 million, how she did that in 5 years. And so, and I don't want to steal her thunder, so I'm not going to say the end. But anyway, we are so grateful, Stacey, that you're here today to share with us. 7-time icon, that's no small feat to achieve. So we're, again, blessed and excited that you're here. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, 7-time icon, but I will tell you, it's not polished. What you'll find out today, this is authentic. It's real. It's not polished. And those numbers, let me pull up. I'm going to do my screen share, and bear with me. I'm not as technically challenged as Jim. Everybody, if you know Jim, you know he loves this type stuff.
Jim Lambright, y'all may know him.
He is my other half. Share, present. All right, there we go. So I thought when Kathy and I were talking about presenting, I said, hey, why don't we do it right after the regional rallies? Because I am doing something for the regional rally down in Nashville. And I thought I would just do the same thing because honestly, it's all that all that I do, meaning I just sell. Jim is our agent attraction, whatever you want to call that. And I don't pay attention to the market hype. I know we hear so much in the news, and my solution has always been, if the market's tough, I just need to sell more. Like that's literally just my drive, and that's what's drove me every year. I don't pay attention to the outside noise. And I'm putting up some pretty big numbers here, but I want to tell you right off the bat so that I don't lose people. I did a rebuild when I came to EXP. So even though I've been in real estate for 28 years, these numbers and what we're going to talk about today, I've done in the last 5 years, and I did it organically. That means I didn't pay for anything. So hopefully what I can bring to you guys today, it doesn't matter if you're a icon, because when I came into the business, my numbers were there at an icon level. It doesn't matter if you're brand new, if you're a capper, if you're working towards, like I said, the icon, that type thing. What I'm bringing you, everybody can do. So real fast, I was number 69 out of 88,000 agents last year with EXP. Sold 62 homes, 26 million. I was the Ohio Agent Advisory Council chair for 2 years, and I just got nominated to the National Agent Advisory Council. Just hit my 7th icon, and you are not reading that wrong. I have been selling real estate since the 1900s. That's kind of my tagline. Let me see. Oh, good, it all worked. And I put this up again. These are my slides from the regional rally, but I had to make everybody laugh because selling since the 1900s. Melinda will actually recognize this photo. I've got a partner of mine on here that we started selling at the same time, but things have changed. And in that 28 years, my numbers have I did a rebuild, but one thing that's become more of a focus for me, and that's why I'm actually taking some of these invites, because I want to start giving back and doing more and helping more. So we do have 170 some agents in our downline, thanks to Jim and his amazing attraction, but we really pour into them. So what I'm going to show you guys today is what we show these guys on a daily daily level. And we have I get asked all the time about what's the greatest thing about being an icon. The greatest thing about being an icon was turning my first agent into an icon. I can tell you I've not had any more rewarding than working with these guys and making icons out of our group. But I will say the guy there in the top with me and the Philadelphia Eagles is my son, and he just asked me the amazing question, "Hey mom, he's 25. How do I sign up for those real estate classes?" I was like, finally. But remember I talked about going into build mode. These are the numbers I want to focus on, because up till about 2019, I was doing good volume, and you should be probably after 21 years of business. But I had hit what a lot of people refer to as a glass ceiling or a natural ceiling, where I could only do so much on my own. And here's what's funny. I didn't even realize there was more out there. And I didn't realize that there was more that I could do until we came to EXP. Because I was at Keller Williams, I was at Remax, I was at a small boutique broker before we moved, 100%. I was happy with that number. And I didn't even realize, which you're starting to see the numbers starting to reflect, when I got to EXP and I realized everything that's there for us, I decided, you know what, I can do more with the help of EXP. I can build more. And I went into build mode. Literally from 2020 to 2024, I jumped from that 10 million to the 26 million mark. I did not, and I still do not do any of these types of stuff, which is kind of funny because I know a lot of people are probably really good at this and I'm not. So if you're out there and you're not big on doing videos, you're not big on social media, you might put them up, but you feel like you're just a fish out of water trying to do it, and you see everybody else's professional videos. I didn't do that. I don't pay for leads. To this day, I still don't do any of the Zillow stuff, any of that stuff. I will go to the networking events, but I'm the little person that sits in the stool that talks to my little people that I'm comfortable with. Jim is our social butterfly. So that 10 million to the 26 million had nothing to do with any of that. These are the 3 platforms that I chose to focus on with the help of the mentorship at EXP, the classes, the EXP University. The first thing is congratulations to everybody that's on, because that's part of the biggest thing is you got to start showing up. Until I bought into that system, 21 years of doing it on my own, not having a mentor, not having training at my fingertips, you can't find the next level without help. And that doesn't matter where you're at. Even at my 26 million, I am now working with someone doing better than me that's willing to show me their playbook. So the number one thing that I learned right off the bat was obviously Revenos. I'm going to dig into that here in a minute. And then these all flow together, the database and the sphere, and then niches and passions. So with Revenos, and I wasn't able at the regional rally to really dig into this, and at the end we can take questions on this because I'm happy to help you, because this is how I built my sphere. Obviously I tell people, think of Revenos because it confuses people a lot, especially if you're talking to other agents from other brokerages. Revenos is like a department. Like, companies have HR departments, accounting departments. Revenos is our lead generation system. And under that, they have numerous avenues, Chase, Rocket. In fact, as I was sitting here, I just got a Rocket Home buyer. And I was like, I can't talk right now. I'm getting ready to get on a Zoom. And that is from Revenos, obviously. But here's my thing with Revenos. It is available. Even if you don't know you're going to use it, sign up, get the certifications. We'll talk about that at the end. Because the one thing that I knew that I had to do was if you want to take your numbers from 10 million to 26 million, you have to have more people to talk to. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. And I didn't want to do the cold internet leads. I didn't want to pay for leads where they didn't know I was calling them. I wanted to talk to people that knew, like, and trust me is one avenue. But Revenos, when you get one of these leads, like that Rocket Mortgage person actually reached out to me and said, hey, we got connected through Rocket Mortgage. I hear you're my realtor. So that's the type of people I wanted to work with to build my business. And that can be accomplished under Revenos. And I can't see everybody. I wish that I could, and I'm not technically challenged to change that. But I wanted to play the would you game. And I asked this question on stage. I'm going to give you a scenario. If you got a $160,000 buyer lead from Revenos, knowing that you had to pay a 50% referral fee, which we do, we pay 40% to the incoming or the lead source, let's say it's Rocket Mortgage in this case. So I'm paying 40% to Rocket. I'm paying 10% to Revenos. Got my 80-20, part of the year. And I pay my TC out of it. So doing those quick math, would you do that deal? Would you take that deal? 160,000, 50%, and decent hands went up. And I said, what if I told you that 160,000, they were only paying a 2% co-op? Would you do it at that point? So you have 160,000, 2% buyer broker, I guess it's called now, 50% referral fee, TC, 80/20. Would you do it? And I had a lot of hands go down. And I said, of all the hands that are still up, what if that was, if that was an hour and a half away, actually hour and 10 minutes to be exact away, would you do it? 110 one way, hour and 10 minutes, 160,000, 2%, 50%. And a lot of the hands went down. And that's where I wanted to change the mindset. Because, oh, you know what? Let me go back here. This is and just to let you know, that was my scenario. That broke down to a $905 check when it was all said and done. This was a year and a half ago. I did the deal, and reason being was I was in that build mode. Remember, I can't do anything unless I have people that start coming into my sphere and into my database. Here's part of the reason why. So I got this text message. This was actually March 2nd. As you can see, not very long ago. And it said, hi, Stacey, this is Rose. You worked with my daughter, Jody, in finding her new home in New Holland. Robert and I are thinking about downsizing and would like to talk with you. No rush. Rose is Jody's mom. This was the buyer that I just told you about. So Rose is selling her single family. We actually already sold on it. We write a contract today on a condo that her and Robert are buying together. And as soon as we close, we're selling Robert's house. It was $1.5 million that I just got last March, last month, that I would not have had if I hadn't taken that $905 paycheck and I hadn't taken Jody as a relationship. That's the mind shift. I want you to think about these Revenos, and it doesn't have to be just Revenos. There's other lead sources, Realtor, Redfin, Realtor.com, any of them. Don't look at what the commission or what the referral fee is. Don't look at the bottom line. Stop treating people like a dollar sign. Don't focus on the 905. Revenos just gave you a relationship. And what you do with that relationship is up to you. That relationship, as you can see, in just a year and a half already turned into another $1.5 million. And I will tell you, Rose and Robert love me also. So you're building relationships. And here's the thing, I only owed that referral fee, that 50%, that was a one-time fee. If Jody buys 5 more houses from me, which hopefully she will, because it's going to be a lifelong relationship, if she now sends me her cousin who I'm talking to, do you see where I'm going with that? Do you see the mind shift? Quit looking at people like they're a dollar sign and quit looking at just quit doing numbers altogether. It's a relationship. And what you do with that relationship is what's going to build your business. So, and remember me talking, I knew that I couldn't build my database basically without people helping me. And the avenue that I took and I chose, the biggest one was Revenos. So I took everything that came to me, I took. It didn't matter where it was, what the price point was. And here's just a couple more examples. Gil and Patricia down here at the bottom with Gianna. Gianna was one when I first met her, which was a little over 2 years ago. And I don't know if you know this or not, but EXP has the union contract for air traffic controllers. So Gil was an air traffic controller in Columbus. He was relocating to Atlanta. Absolutely fell in love with these guys, obviously. And again, they were not just a number or a stat. So they became part of our family. They're in our mix with our sphere. And Gil moved to Atlanta. Well, just a few weeks ago, I got a call from Gil and he said, hey, Stace, we hate Atlanta. We're coming back. Can you help me find someone to sell my house in Atlanta? Yeah. 2, can you help me buy my new house back in Ohio? Absolutely. And remember, your referral fees in most cases are you only have to pay those for 2 years. So all of these latest transactions with Gil and Patricia that are now back in my market, which means referrals, I don't have to pay any more referral fee on. And then sometimes up in the corner, you see Brad there. It's not about even any type of money. He was at Chase. We have a great relationship. EXP is one of Chase's biggest referral partners. But I love the Chase deals when they come in, just like the Rocket one. They know when they meet us, they're already totally pre-approved. They know that they have to use us to get their Chase incentives. And they're connected to us right away. So Brad came to us. We started talking to him. Brad bought around the $200,000 range. Brad was 70, had never owned a home before. Like that was probably the most rewarding deal I've done in 28 years. It was one of them. It was amazing. And Brad is now I'm going to pop into here. I'm getting ahead of myself on my slides, but this is just a visual because when Revenos gives you those leads and you turn them into the relationship and you start putting it over into your database and your sphere. And keep in mind too, I brought this up in Nashville. A database and a sphere are two different things. You can put as many names, even take all those leads. There's people I'm positive out there, and I know for a fact, and that's why they don't like the Revenos deals, because it's a one-time deal for them. They take the lead, they do the transaction, they pay the referral fee, and then they don't do anything with it. If you don't, you can put them into your database, but if you don't start working that database and putting it into your sphere, which I do think are two different things. For me, my database is an Excel spreadsheet. It's rare, but some clients stay there. I don't want them in my sphere. And that's a choice that I make very rarely. But do you see the difference? Because when you take a relationship and put them into your sphere, to us, they become family. They become friends. I purposely track them down on social media and ask if I can follow them because I want to send them, when I see little Johnny getting on the school bus, I want to send them a cute note. When I see a pet that passes away, I want to send them flowers. Do you see the difference? And do you see the fact that that's taking that lead from Revenos and really turning it into something? Because when you do that, when you email them, you text them, and for me, I think the biggest thing is social media, whatever platform they're on, be on there and stay ingrained in their lives. Most of the reason, you've got to be front mind awareness with these. And I'm going to skip here because the whole thing is you want to turn these people into super fans. If you make them a part of your family and a part of your everyday life, when they are at the grocery store and they hear someone talking about buying and selling a real estate, who do you think they're going to do? Your name is just going to roll off their lips. We call those super fans. When they're at their family cookout and someone needs to buy a house, they're going to be like, you have to call state. I know 100% the people that are in my sphere, when they hear that, I'm the person they're referring. And they're not only going to refer me, they're going to rant and rave about me because that's the experience I gave them. Only if I got a my $905 commission check versus my 30,000, they get treated the exact same way. And so I turn them into super fans. When you start doing that, and obviously repeat clients, look at Gil and Patricia. They were in my database in my sphere for just 2.5 years and already are onto their second home. So repeat and lifelong clients. When you start doing that and you start doing it organically and you start working it, you're taking the leads from Revenos, you're putting them into your database, you're putting them in your sphere. And I will tell you, with EXP's insight, I wasn't good at this. That's why I was at that $10,000 or $10 million flat, like natural ceiling. It wasn't until I got to EXP that I really started seeing systems that worked for other people, that where they were on purpose with staying in contact and doing these things. And my numbers started growing organically. Just remember, I got to these numbers without any paid services. The other thing is niches. This was something that I learned at EXP. I don't know about you, but when I was like at my son's soccer field, just wherever I was at, I didn't feel comfortable asking people for business. Like, hey, can I sell your house? It just felt icky for me. That was my thought process up to that point. If they came to me, I was hands down there, but I really just didn't start asking for people's business. That wasn't me. Probably the introvert side of me, but it just wasn't me. And I had someone that come and said, listen, and for niches, it could be, think of like your church, a nonprofit that you might be passionate about that you're in, places that you organically are in because they mean a lot to you and people around you have a common interest. What better? Someone taught me at EXP, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And who better than someone that's already at church with them? They have the same core values. You're at the same nonprofits. We do animal charity. We drill water wells in Zimbabwe. Those people not only know and like me, but we have the same interest. Our hearts are in the same place. Our passions are in the same place. So I took that thought process and I started just asking for business. Now, obviously, I did it in ways that blend and feel natural for the situation. Like with my bourbon, I'm the state of Ohio ambassador for the National Women's Bourbon Council. I started the Buckeye Bourbon Babes, and I've got some giveaways here for you guys in a second, so make sure you stay tuned because I just started my first YouTube series, Bourbon and Bills. So I've got a way for you to win some bourbon at the end. Help me out. It's a win-win. Life is all about win-win. But I started listening to that, and what I did was in my bourbon groups, I started just putting post up, hey, if you know me that wants to buy and sell, I give amazing referral gifts. Guess what it is? Well, obviously that's bourbon. Same way with closings. I give the best closing gifts. But just doing that every once in a while organically and just mixing in with the thought process. And in our nonprofits, it looks more like, in the nonprofits, I actually co-founded my 2 nonprofits, but if you don't, get permission, but put something up that just says, listen, anybody that buys and sells real estate in 2025, we will give back 10% of our commission to the nonprofit. Make it mix, make it a win-win, make it authentic, and make it organic. When I started doing this, up in the top corner, the lady with me in the white shirt, that's Maggie. She just bought a $1.1 million house from me last year. Michelle up in front of the Barrel Bourbons has bought 5 houses in 3 years, like buy, sell, buy, sell. In lower corner in the red, he is totally organic bourbon. And I mean that by Maggie and Michelle and I have become friends and stuff like that. But Tim is just bourbon. I see him at bourbon events. We did a barrel pick together. Like, we don't talk anything other than that, but it was just timing. Because if you're consistently doing it, you will hit people. He's just saw me put up a post and he reached out and said, hey, my father-in-law is thinking about selling. Would you like to talk to him? $1 million deal. Closed that one last summer. It's just being on purpose. It's being authentic and where your value has value, because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. Again, moving everybody, Jody, Rose, Brad, Gail, Patricia, Tim, Chris, Michelle, Maggie. I have now not only taken their lead, turned them into a relationship, but I did a really good job for them. That means when they're in my sphere and they see me all the time, I'm doing that, obviously, that super fan thought process. And when you keep doing this and you're consistent with it, because listen, this was a focus of mine. I wanted to build my business. I saw people that were doing real estate for 10 years. I've been in 21 years and they were just kicking my butt and I knew I could do it. So I was on focus. I'm not saying that you don't have to pay for something, but you have to work for it. Like, there was work put into this and a thought process put into this. I will tell you though, what's really nice is it starts to grow organically. And by that, I mean compounding thought process. So in the beginning, when I was just putting the beginning people in, remember I put in just Jody. Well, Jody turned into Rose and Robert. And now I've got 3 super fans. So it started growing organically for the same amount of work. You know what I mean? I wasn't working any extra, but I got to the point that, believe it or not, as I hit that 18 million and that 26 million, I could actually start working a little bit less. And I want to say maybe it starts growing, when it's growing organically, you can go on, like, what would you call it? Autopilot. That's what I was talking about. You can take some time, but this is the giveaway. I want you guys to do this for me really fast. Scan that QR code, and Kathy, I'll give you my slides too, so that you can pass this out just in case. But that QR code is going to take you to our bourbon and builds. I will tell you, I've not done my first episode. This was one of those just great ideas while drinking bourbon. Like, hey, I'm going to take my 2 passions, which is new builds and bourbon, and I'm going to join them together, and I'm going to bring in the builders and stuff like that. We're going to do, so it is just in the infancy, but because of that, I need to grow my subscribers. And so subscribe, hit notifications. I actually just took screenshots. I've got 67 right now. Everybody that enters this time, I'll do a drawing for a free bottle of bourbon, and whoever the winner is, I'll send that to you guys. And we'll come back to that if we need it at the end. This is also for you guys. Take a picture. These are all pay at the end referral sites. So sign up for every one of them. Some of them you're not going to know, but that's okay, because I can tell you, like Ojo right there and sold.com, they may not be big where they're not getting a ton of leads, but if you are the only, like for me, a majority of these, I was the only person in Central Ohio signed up. I was the only one that knew about it. So I got all the leads, even though there wasn't a ton of them. So sign up for all those. Some of them will have restrictions where you have still so many deals, but just keep a tally of when you can sign up for them. And I'll make sure you guys get that too at the end. So one thing I did do this year, and I'm getting used to it because it's new to me and it makes me uncomfortable, is I did hire my first coach. And he is out at EXP. His name's John's Kitchens. He's awesome, except, yeah, he makes me cringe. But when we were working on this slide deck, because this was hard for me, just so you guys know, thank you for allowing me to build myself, because I'm not a public speaker. But we started working on this, and he said this to me, not as a quote. This was something that just rolled out of his mouth. And I was like, oh my God, that just resonated with me so much. It's going to be my mantra. But he said, the bigger the platform you build for yourself, the more you can give and the more you can do. Because I do like that part. I do want to do more. I do want to give back. I thought, you know what? I've got to get out of my comfort zone. I've got to, start public speaking, but that comes into play because I want to tell you guys a little bit about last year. So last year was a record-breaking year, 26 million for me after 28 years of business. But one thing I didn't tell you was at the end of 2023, I got a call from the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and they just said, hey, we're going to pick 10 girls in Columbus, and we're going to do a challenge. Would you like to be one of them with raising money? Well, first of all, I'm very competitive. So as soon as they said challenge, I said yes. And then I love giving back. I love raising money. I do have a connection to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So I said yes to this 10-week challenge. What I didn't know in the fall of 23, that it was in the spring market of 2024. And for us, that is our go time. We get a lot of snow here. When people are done, with the snow, and we do 60% of our business in the spring. So I said yes. Because of the work and the building that I had done in the last 5 years, I was literally able to put pause on my real estate and only focus on the people that were coming in. Remember those repeat referral business? And I raised, and they had asked me, how much do you think you can raise? I said 25,000. They said, no, we think you can raise 50. And I did it. 51,000 is what I raised in 10 weeks for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. The three ladies raised 317,000 together. I literally did nothing in real estate but work on incoming repeat and referral business, and had a record-breaking spring. It was just one of those things I wholeheartedly believe the more you give back, the more you get. So buy into that process, be authentic with that. And I did do it with bourbon. So that bourbon bottle I was just telling you guys about, I will give you one of my charity bottles. That's what I did my platform on to raise money. The other thing I didn't tell you was the 26 million a year last year. I spent 3 months in a little rock called St. Croix. So I was able to take 10 weeks off, raise $51,000 for Leukemia Lymphoma Society, spend 3 months in the Caribbean, which was off and on. We go down 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. That's my son and his girlfriend coming down to visit us. Again, it was because of the work that I put in at the beginning of that 5-year restructure. It was because I was authentic. I was on purpose. And so I hope that helps you guys a little bit. That was my wrap-up slide, but just go into that build mode, do the work, build the relationships, build a platform to give back. I hope if you don't lead with that, I don't think it comes back to you, and build a life worth living. So that was I can open it up to, let me see if I can get rid of my stop screen share. There we go. That was my thing. I only had down there, I only had a half hour. And I got a lot of people that came up to me at the end with questions. So I can go over those, because some of the in-depth, like how'd you do it a little bit more, I can take Q&A. Let me real fast just hit my topics that I got down there, because there is some stuff that I think will help a little bit more in depth. So one of my platforms that I did was new build. And you hear that all the time. But again, this whole thing is about building relationships. Every part of this was about building relationships, whether that's a client or an affiliated partner. So with my new builds, and let me explain why that added to that bottom line, the 10 million to 26 million. I know every builder in town. I know their product. I know their price points. I know when I sit down with a client, like I'm literally working with one right now, a young couple, and to them, 0 down with a VA loan was very important to them. Well, I know there's only one builder that does that pays all their closing costs and stuff like that. So it's being knowledgeable on the product and also the people that you choose to work with. And I mean that. You guys can handle it however you want. My preference with build reps are someone that's been in the business with them for a while, because they have the respect of the managers and the sales managers, which do come into play. And they know and if they're doing a lot of business, they know how to treat realtors right. So new builds are a huge part of that 9.8 million to the 26 million. I did last year I did 8 new builds. This year all of my goals are visuals. I think I have them up here. I can show them to you guys. So this year was 12 million or 12 deals. I have to tell you right now that I think I'm already at 10 in May, because it was just a focus. I made it frontline awareness. My build partners, here's a key. When you make those connections to the build reps, for me, I use Facebook. It's a Facebook Messenger group that I have that has a rep from each builder in it. And when I get a buyer, first of all, that's how I register. They all know to register as soon as I send it, but I send like this couple was, certain school system, 350, 250, 2,500 max sales price. And I just send it. So that way everybody sends me back what they have. That's a little helpful hint. That's really helpful for me. I'm not calling each one individually. I'm not trying to look up what inventory homes they have at the time. I'm just telling them my needs. I have someone that wants a new build. They want it in the school system. This is the monthly payment they want. Who's got something? So that saves you a lot of time. So I think, yeah, here's my little goals. So yeah, but just being front minded. See, I track everything. That's all my years, what I have for this year. I did set 30 million as my goal this year, which I am beating last year's numbers. And still, other than the paid coach, I'm doing it organically. So no bills, and I can take questions on that if you want any more information on that. Was one of them.
Well, before you go on with that, Stacey, one thing you said that I just loved, and I don't know if everybody caught it, is when you message those agents, you're saying what you need your payment to be in or what you need their payment to be in. So they may not be advertised specials that these builders are putting out there, like that they're willing to pay this much closing cost or willing to buy the rate down. But when you send to them what the payment is that you're looking for, that your buyer is looking for, it may spark something that, oh, we can do that because we can buy down the rate. We can do this. We can do that. Although it may not be something that they're on the front end necessarily offering. So I love that, just that little tip or that little comment that you just said.
And let me tell you what I get out of that group. If you do this and form those relationships, like this exact couple, I had one of the responses that came back from Pulte. My Pulte rep was, I don't have anything in that price point, but let me tell you what I do have. I have a Grove City spec coming back. It is loaded. I can do 4.5. He gave me something that's not on the market.
Yep.
That's the key, because all of our buyers already have access to Zillow Real. They know what's on the market. So the first thing I told him was, can I market it? Can I put that out there? So that's already going to go out as a Facebook post this morning. Like, listen, if you've been looking in Grove City, I've got something off market. This is the payment. It's loaded. Here's what it is. So build that relationship. Absolutely. And two, don't, like I said, I don't try to keep up. I know the developments, but I'm not keeping up on their inventories, because when I have that buyer, I just put it out there. It'll save you hours by just having that group formed and and put them all together. Because trust me, they start fighting for the deal. And even the one this morning, they're bouncing back and forth between two of them, and stuff keeps getting nicer for them. So absolutely.
Can I put out something real quick while we're on the new build topic, Stacey? And this might be something, just there's a guy that, and I've been telling this story to a lot of people here lately. There's a guy down in Texas. He's an EXP agent as well. The new builds. Here's something just to keep in mind. Like again, you mentioned it, Kathy. The buyers don't care about the rates. They think they do. They're hearing the headlines. Rates are, this and this. They don't care. Think about when you go buy a car. Here's the monthly payment. Well, we can't do that. Okay, give me a minute. The guy leaves. He comes back, goes and talks to the guy up there, whatever, and he comes back. Okay, how about if we got you down to this? Okay, we'll take that. We sign off. It's the monthly payment. That's what they care about. That's what buyers care about. And you market with that, to bring in new construction buyers versus here's the interest rate, here's the buy down. They don't understand all that stuff. They don't care about all that stuff. The monthly payment. We have a guy down in Texas, and what he did was he went to one of the new builds and he found they had homes in like that first time buyer price range. And he went in there to the sales office. Look, with all your incentives in place, what would it take to get a buyer into one of your homes for about $2,200 a month? Here's like the average rent in that area, $2,000 to $2,400 where he was at. So they worked it all out. He walks outside one of the new construction homes. He holds up his phone and he does this quick video outside of the model. He said, "Are you sick and tired of renting? Are you sick and tired of building your landlord's future instead of your own? If you have a 680 credit score or higher, if you got $5,000 to put down, I can get you into this home right here behind me, brand new, for $2,200 a month. Let me show you the home." And he walks in, and here's the hardwood floors, here's the granite counters, the stainless steel appliances, the fireplace, the backyard, all this stuff. You can stay in that 1,000 square foot apartment, or I can get you into this brand new 2,000 square foot home, for the same or less than what you're paying for rent. Click the link below, get on my calendar. And he had a link down there to his calendar. He was doing Zoom appointments, 5 to 5:30, 5:30 to 6, 30-minute appointments from 5 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. His calendar fills up. He's building some rapport with these people. How long you've been renting, where are you from, what do you guys do, what are you looking to do, just building rapport. And then he sends them to the builder's lender, who's all in on this thing. He comes back, oh, they had a credit score of 400. They don't even, we can work with them, nurture them. Some people's like, yeah, they're good to go. He'd call them up. Okay, we got the approval. When do you want to meet at the house? Thursday at 3, Saturday at 4. He put 22 buyers under contract in 2 months by doing that right there. That will set everybody up here for the next, couple years. I mean, it's just.
So there's a topic that always gets our phone to ring. And I think it'll work for most people because I think D.R. Horton is in most markets. D.R. Horton here, and I'm sure to obviously check with your rep and stuff like that, but D.R. Horton here will allow us to put a tagline on there that's build your credit while you build your home. So that gets the phone to, the whole goal is getting the phone to ring. But obviously they have to have, if D.R. Horton here and their mortgage company knows that within 6 months they can build and shape their credit to buy, they'll go ahead and start building their house for them. That's huge. That's really, really big.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So just that tagline marketing, it gets the phone to ring like crazy for us, which obviously I don't answer my phone. That's just a text, but you know what I mean? It gets like literally the leads coming in will be crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Curious, Stacey, do you work with these reps to become a listing agent for the people that have a home to sell before they're buying?
Yep. It's a little bit of a tricky subject because they can't put us on the new build side, but they can definitely refer us out to sell their existing.
Yep.
I've
always thought, I've never built that side, but I've always thought, that's another way, just build relationships with the on-site reps.
This whole thing is relationships, and that's why you got to be smart with who you choose as your affiliated partners too. And we also do agents helping agents. We use it on the recruiting side because obviously this is what we work with our downline and I call them my real estate kiddos. But we do an AHA event once a month and they pick up the tab. We have 16 trusted affiliated partners and they pay for everything. And it's a great happy hour every month. But yeah, really build these relationships. It will build business for sure. 100%.
So do you invite the new construction reps to that?
Yeah, we literally have a set of the builder reps especially are concreted in because I've used them for years. But we have an electrician, we have a plumber, we have everybody that comes in, but we vet them. That's the biggest thing is someone in the trusted group, which is mainly builders, someone has to vet them coming in.
But your new construction reps are sponsors.
Yes. Yeah, okay. All 16 of them, the electrician, everybody, we make everybody pay. We're going to bring agents to you to build your business. You're going to pay for our food and drinks.
And how much do you typically charge them since you're having a whole?
We just literally split the bill. What the bill?
Okay, whatever it is, y'all just split it by the number.
We get about, and we do talk to the venues before, kind of like, hey, this is what we want. We get them to work with us too, but we get normally about 50 agents to each one. Nice. And it's about $100 a person out of the 1,600 or the 16. Nice. So yeah, that's good. Yep. And then two, I had, transaction coordinator. So, and I mentioned this on stage that mine's absolutely amazing. I love her. I love her more than Jim sometimes.
Jim.
He's on here. He's laughing.
We call her the marriage saver in our house is what we call her.
And I'm going to go against what most people and what Keller Williams teaches. I did that bold training and all that MREA stuff. I think everybody should have a TC, even if it's your first deal. And EXP does offer a connection to TCs. They get paid at closing. And the reason I say that is it's just a TC, especially a good one, will make your whole process seem smoother. To get those super fans that we talked about, the deal has to be smooth. It has to seem like it's all put together, whether it's your first deal, your 10th deal, whatever. And TCs just allow you to free up your time to focus more on that build stuff. And you'll find that you love real estate a lot more. Attitude, we and Vito, we just had a house guest here for Jim's Rock on the Range, and he's an agent out of South Carolina. And he hates real estate. And the reason being is he literally during Rock on the Range, he's taking phone calls to try to put a deal together that he's got to go try to write from his phone somewhere. If you don't love what you're doing, you don't build on that. You don't build more. And a TC will make your life so much easier. You will love real estate some more. And yeah. So I am, and I think average is about $249 a deal. It's worth it. Invest in it, whether you're a brand new agent, because I think everyone else teaches like, wait till you're like 3 million, whatever. Forget that. First deal, get a TC. They will teach you stuff along the way. Makes you love real estate. You'll recruit more. You'll love more. You'll find more. So that was
two things on that. I know a lot of realtors just charge that back to their client. They just
For
so
sure.
you can charge that back as a processing fee or an admin fee. And the other thing is there's a big TC company here in Middle Tennessee, and they say that the average transaction takes about 19 hours of paperwork.
Yeah. And
Think about if you're dealing 19 hours on average per transaction of nothing but paperwork, how much more prospecting, where else could you use that time better, with more money making activities? Because, yeah.
and just happiness breeds happiness. You'll be so much happier. And two, a tip here for everybody, in case that you don't have, like, because I know it's only certain states that have the organized TC through EXP. Actually, the one I found that I absolutely love, I just went into our Ohio group. We all have for now. I know we're getting ready to switch, but the workplaces, go to your state workplace group, because if they're licensed, that's even better, especially in your state. Just pop in there. Is anybody doing TC work? And you will get inundated. And I would say interview them a little bit on, how many other agents are you doing it for? How long have you been with EXP? Here's the key. What hours can I call you to do paperwork? If that's not 24/7, you don't want them, because real estate doesn't work 9 to 5, Monday through. My first TC was that way, and I got rid of her really quick. So that's a tip. Just go in if you don't want to mess with trying to find a company, just go in and put who's doing TC work in your state group.
Yeah.
What all do they do for you, Stacey?
Mine does everything.
Like, what is
Tell you,
everything?
you know what? Let me rephrase that. I do all my own numbers. So whether that's listing, like, I do all my own numbers, negotiating, listing. I do all my own negotiating, which is all verbally and on text with me. When we come to a conclusion, I send the results to Chastity, and she does it and handles everything. And I do my
What
own.
do you mean?
And I
Do
do
you
my
write the contracts for you?
She writes and does everything. I haven't touched a contract in 4 years. I wish I could show you our slang, because we have text. I text her, of course, and I send her like 7 bullet points, the address, the price. 7/2 means 7 days on inspections, 2 requests for remedy. She knows my lingo, and that's the last I have to do with that contract until close, is that text message I send her. She does everything. It deals with the lenders, deals with the other, but I do pay her very well. And that's because, and I've gradually done that each year because she's
Works very well.
I pay her 7% on the deals, and then I'll bonus her a lot too. But she's worth every bit of it. I would not have made that 10 million to 26 million jump without her.
Okay, great.
And I do, and also too, so I do advise, do all your own numbers, because and then I do all my own requests for remedies. I want to be in charge of that. She writes it, but I'm the one talking to them what we want to ask and negotiating them.
Okay,
And
Thank
Melinda, she has taken on more clients.
right.
And then 2, set expectations. I made notes myself. So during that 5 years, Chastity is a perfect example. Set expectations with your buyers, because another thing that allowed and freed up my time, especially that 3 months in the Caribbean, I'm not always here. So all of my buyers, whether it's sellers or buyers, they all know that I have a support system. I have Chastity. I have showing agents. That's what I call them, because they are. I've got 2 girls that I really adore, and they will open doors for me. That's all they do. Because remember, I do my own numbers. I do my own negotiations. Chastity does the paperwork. And buyers and sellers are okay with that if you set that expectation up. And I wholly want, so we already talked about the TC. That's the big part of my showing system, or my system. But the showing agents, definitely build that within your own group. Meaning that, and there's on 2 different levels. I picked 2 that I really like, but one thing that we put together for our 170 some agents is we have like kind of a showing team, if you want to call it that. That way, if you're at a football game with your son and stuff like that, they pop it into the group. They offer them $25, $50 if it's a long drive. Don't miss life. Don't miss life, because you will hate real estate and you won't build on it. So definitely build that showing partners. But also set that, if you're like me and you're going to be traveling a lot, set that expectations up in the beginning. They know what Chastity's role is. They know what my showing agents are. They aren't off put if I happen to be traveling and I have one of the girls open the doors for them. So definitely set that expectation up in the very beginning when you're meeting people.
Stacey, with that, I want to just say something. You and Jim, obviously, you've built a great real estate business.
Mhm.
Most of us don't build a business. We don't treat it like a business. We just become like, I mean, we have this, we're self-employed, we're
Yeah.
our own boss, but we're running like chickens with our heads cut off, all hours of the day and night, and it's impossible to travel. And when I do travel, I got to take everything with me. I mean, not that you don't take stuff with you, but it's like, you guys have built a business. I think, there's agents on here that are brand new. There's agents on here that have been in for 4, 5, 6 years. They're wanting to take it to that next level. Like, guys, learn from this, because you can build a business where you can have a life.
Right.
Sean Corbett's a great example of that. I see Sean on here. I mean, he has done such a great job of building a business where, what time, Sean, do you cut at the end of the day? You pick up your kids and you're done. What time of the day?
That's almost clock out time. I've already put in 2 hours. No, I'm kidding. I have a general philosophy. I don't work weekends and evenings. And that's one of the fundamental things. And Stacey's right. I mean, you set things in place, then you're only accountable to the most highest paying aspects of your job is the only thing you should focus on doing. And everything else you can outsource. So yeah, I pick up my kids. I'm done generally at 3:30 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday. So
And you
that
have
answers your
somebody else show all your homes and everything for you after that?
What's that, Melinda?
You have someone else show all your homes and do all your work on the weekends for you?
Nope.
Yeah,
You know what?
I don't show houses. Yeah.
I
Okay.
actually still enjoy that part. That might change, Melinda. I don't do it I don't like the winter. So I was out yesterday showing houses all day, but I don't mind it,
Mhm.
I know some people that yeah, they've gotten to that point that they don't show it all. And that's part of I'm coaching with John to maybe make that transition when I'm ready. But while you still love something, you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
I
back
still
and
love
answer
it
a
too.
couple questions if that's okay. I see some good ones in here. Hey, Michael, you're gonna laugh because I actually opened up my regional rally speech with this. I wanted people to know that what I was getting ready to teach you, I didn't pay for anything, and I'm the most unorganized person in the world. That's why I said, I don't time block, I don't have a schedule, I'm not regimented. Systems are in place to make everything run smooth, meaning that what we just talked about, I know if I'm traveling, I'm letting everybody know that, hey, can you be on call for the showings while I'm gone? So there's stuff that I do, but no, I don't, I don't cold call it. There's no like set time schedules and stuff like that, believe it or not. I know that's a crazy question on that one.
I love that. Because I'm like
Yeah.
that too.
But I will tell you, I am, especially to my clients, I am accessible 24/7 and they know that. I tell them, or if you're up at 1 a.m. and you have a question, text me. If I'm asleep, I just won't answer till I get up. But they know they can get me anytime because remember, they're not clients. My brother can call me at 2 a.m. My clients can call me at 2 a.m.
That's what I've got so many people that have complimented me on that because they'll text me at 10 p.m. sending me new houses and I respond. They're like,
Absolutely.
what the hell? I didn't expect you to be up this late, but thank you for responding.
And here's the thing, that's not going to work for everybody. Some people like, and the other thing is too, our kiddo's grown. I don't have little kids at home. I don't have soft, but you can incorporate every part of your life into that. If you set the expectations up first, they'll understand it. If you're at a soccer game and you tell them, hey, I'm at the soccer game, like I told you, I'll call you as soon as I'm done or type thing. And then for showing agent, Sean, I saw it, and I think Jim answered, definitely. And two, as you get going and the business starts, as your compounding starts happening, like we talked about, I've gotten more generous, I realized, towards the end, because time just means a lot. Freedom, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's a really sunny day and I don't want to, that type of thing. So mine is fluctuating, but I tend to, Jim's got the basis there. That's the basis and minimum that I pay. I do $50, and this is same day. It has to be same day, but $50 is the first showing because I kind of put me into their thought process. I'm not showering, leaving the house, driving for anything less than $50. You know what I mean? It made it seem like a lot to pay them for one house, but think about it in that thought process. So they get $50 for the first house, and then I pay them $35 for everyone after that in the same day. So that's what we do. And then let me see. How do you connect with past clients? Maria, one of the things we did, because remember me telling you that I did that, because we had a lot of past clients when I decided to do that rebuild, we started doing client appreciation parties. It was a way to instead of asking them for business, you know what I mean? It was a way to invite them to something to reconnect, get in front of them. We make them fun. We're actually going to add a second one. We do one right now for the Ohio State games. We rent out a sports bar on one of the big games and feed them and give them food. It's just like, and giveaways. All the sponsors are there, which most of our sponsors pay for everything. But it's a big thing. And even if they can't come, the invite will reconnect you. A lot of people miss that part of it. Like, I'd say 10% of our, we've sold thousands of houses in 28 years. And we have like 200 people show up, but everybody got the invite. So it's just the connection and the personal touch. Keep doing that and maybe you'll hear back from them.
Michael Higdon had a good question. Do your shoulders get heavy having to carry Jim in your business?
Hey, you know what? I get asked that all the time because people think that we're a team as far as selling. Jim does a lot. The 170 some agents, he does what I'm not good at, which is I don't want to say babies, but you know what I mean, the coaching, the mentoring, the training, and he's a social butterfly. Everybody knows him, loves him, so he builds that business and I do production. Every once in a while he has to step in and help me though. I put him in an open house or something or showing, and he comes home groveling. I don't ever want to show another house again. So we definitely have what we're both good at to the team, which helps.
Yeah.
Stacey, since you on your rebuild, you spent a lot of, and you still do a lot with Revenos, right? All the different
do.
platforms. So for an agent on here who wants to really get started in that, explain like the process. You know, there's different components to it, but share for those agents that were intrigued with that and they're like, man, you know, I would get. Here's a thing too. Did y'all hear that $906 or $905 commission check that she earned? And she was willing to drive an hour and a half. It's a 2% commission. She knew all this on the front end. And she's already a 10 plus $1 million agent, probably 15 million a year at that point. And she's willing to do that. And so, you know, I just got off the call with Jay Nelson this morning. And so I'm going to be Jay Nelson here. If you're complaining about your business, there's no reason to complain about your business. You've got to, you know, there's business out there. Are you just willing to drive an hour and a half for $900 to ultimately get $1 million referral that you pay not a referral on, right?
You're getting a relationship. That's
You're getting that relationship.
Lifelong relationship.
You've said that so many times. It's building that relationship. And, you know, if I'm honest, that's something I've not been the greatest at. Some clients I connect with more easily and they just naturally become, but it's not been a purposeful part of my business.
I would not have been able to grow that sphere without Revenos and going into that, accepting that, because I would never have met Jody, wouldn't have met Gil, wouldn't have met Brad, wouldn't have met Rose, Robert. Like that's the thought process. They're definitely giving me something I didn't have that I can build off of.
Yeah. So talk about how the agents get certified on those platforms and how you started there for the ones that are interested in that.
Yep. So with Revenos, I would definitely dial in. I know we're in Workplace right now. We're going to be transitioning to Slack. I have to assume that it's somewhat the same platform. So dial in to where you get notifications on everything with the Revenos group. And then from there, there's subsidiaries like Rocket Mortgage, Chase is all under Home Story. Then there's the REO. Dial in first of all, because they post their classes. Most of the certifications are 4 hour and they do them 1 hour a week. So it takes you 4 months sometimes to get certified. One thing that I didn't realize, because I got my certifications a while ago, it's okay if you come in on like week 3, go ahead and start it, because you can do week 3, 4, and then go back 1 and 2 and they'll still certify you. You don't have to catch them in order. So start with that. The biggest tip I can give you, and I'm wholeheartedly part of that, that was a mindset to rebuild. So I immersed myself in everything that was offered, which a lot of it is in person. Be at the events, be on the calls, and with the certifications, a really quick way to do it is EXPCon, because they offer all of their certifications. They're staggered, so you can make that your platform for the 3 days, and they're doing quick certifications. So what would have taken you 4 weeks is going to take you 3 hours. So, and you can ask questions. It's interactive. So EXPCon is a way to really go. You will pay for it. I know it's upfront, but that's the mentality. Put that in for the trip. It'll come back to you threefold. As soon as you come out, you'll be certified in all that stuff. I will tell you, here's a tip. If you're already on Revenos and you're grumbling, like I hear some people say, well, I don't get this, I don't get that, you probably haven't been dialed in, because they require you to get recertified every 18 months. So if you haven't done that, that's part of the problem. 2, if you've gotten leads in the past and you're not following the protocol, everyone is different. That's why you got to keep up to speed on it. Like the Rocket Mortgage. So my Rocket Mortgage buyer that just came in, I have to update them today within a certain amount of time frame. And then I have to update every 1st and 15th of the month. If you're not doing that, they don't yank that buyer from you. You get to keep that buyer and fumble your way through and mishandle it if you want to, but they're now scoring you. And the higher the score, the more leads you get. So definitely pay attention to all of that and take it seriously and set reminders. Here's the thing, my TC handles all of it for me. So it all ties into it. Yeah. So definitely pay attention to that. And I would get your recertifications. does help to reconnect with some people and say, hey, I think I've had some in the past. I didn't handle them exactly right. Can I try to get another one? Talk to people. Cindy Nixon, you'll see who's running each individual one once you immerse yourself into the workplace and soon to be Slack.
Guys, I did put the link to Revenos. There's a website where it's all there, all the details. And you can click on each one of those and see when the classes are. You can register. All that stuff is there. That link is in the chat here. So just revenos.com, plain and simple. So really,
Make sure
really
you
good.
make sure you sign up for outlying areas too, because everybody always wants the hot neighborhood. Sign up for the outlying ones and you'll get all the leads, because none of the EXP agents sign for that. They all want the, the super expensive high-end, hot market, and that's how you get a ton of them.
That's a great, yeah, Jim. I didn't bring that up because Jody was an hour and a half away or hour and 10 minutes away in a really small town. Yeah.
Good point. Stacy, as we're wrapping up, do you want to bring your QR code back up? For
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
in case
And
they
then what
missed it?
I'll do, and Kathy, I don't know if you guys want to share it in your Facebook group,
Yeah,
and maybe I'll do the
will.
drawing tomorrow.
Yep.
That way it'll give even people that weren't on today or they're watching the recording. Hold on. Going back to this, not very.
I subscribed. I'm in the
No.
drawing.
Oh, hey, I'm glad you said that, Jeff. Actually, if you subscribe, text me, find me on social media. Kathy, I don't know how you handle that because some people are private and I can't see who you are. So I definitely want to make sure everybody gets in there. Oh, where are we at? Go back. There we go.
If you draw just based on their usernames, you can always call it the username and somebody can track
Well,
them.
some of them, I don't even see them. If they're private, I don't see them at all.
Oh,
Like,
you're
I see
saying
it on-
they don't even show up there.
Yeah, I see numbers, but
Okay.
I don't see it
I
doesn't
got
add up, if that makes sense. So everybody text me. My phone number is 614. Jimmy, you want to put it in the thing, the chat? 614-315-4663.
I screenshotted the QR code, but how do I actually use it?
I think you can also go to @Bourbon and Builds, right, Jim? Nope, that wasn't working.
They're still not
For some reason,
indexing.
wide
They're still not
open.
indexing you because you don't have any content yet. So they need to use the QR code and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel and then subscribe. That's all you need.
Well, my question is, I've screenshotted the QR code, but I'm on my phone, so how do I
Email it to yourself.
Email it to yourself and then take a picture with your
Yeah,
phone.
there you go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. And Kathy, does a day give you enough, or what's today? Today's Tuesday. Do you want to draw tomorrow? Or you want to draw? You tell me.
Today's so is Sabby loading these, Jeff, typically?
I'll load this. I'll load this.
You'll load
later.
this one
I'll
so we
load it
get it
today.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
So
want to,
tomorrow
Jeff,
will be fine.
if you want to, I can send you just the slide, so you can put just that in your Facebook group too, not necessarily the whole
great.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. I'll shoot you.
And then
over my-
everybody get this one too. I want to make sure everybody got that one. That's the one that's got everybody pay it closed. And I'll make sure I send those to you too. For your
That's a
group.
great one, guys. If you don't understand that,
Yeah.
some of you guys are new. There's so many of these companies out there that, for $500 or $1,000, and we'll set you up for this. And then it's all these kind of things. These are just free. You can sign up for these and create a profile in here, and they will send you leads. There's a referral fee after or at closing,
Yep.
which I'll do that all day long. We would all do that.
Right.
We've got an agent
Yes.
in our market that does 60 personal deals a year from Veterans United.
Wow. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what we'll do, y'all, is we'll put this, Jeff will actually put it up in the Freedom Team workplace group, the recording of this training. So, and then we'll get a copy of the slide deck and we'll put that in the comments for you guys. And then tomorrow, we'll put in there who's the winner of the bourbon.
Let's we'll draw at what's tomorrow, Jim? What's our schedule? Let me see. I know we have something in the evening. Then we have a bourbon event in the evening.
Imagine that. Bourbon
Yeah,
event
let's do it
Wednesday.
before-
It's Mother's Day tomorrow. No, that was Sunday. I was at a rock concert. Missed that one. Let's draw at 4:00 tomorrow.
4:00 sounds
4
good.
o'clock Eastern. So Mountain Time beat 2 o'clock.
Eastern. So
3 Central.
Right, so it'd be 3
3
Central.
Central, 2 Mountain Time.
And you'll do it on your Facebook page, Facebook Live. Is that how you're gonna do it
Yep, I'll
again?
do Facebook Live.
All right, there you go. We'll see who wins.
All
Perfect.
right.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Stacey,
Dave.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Really
no
great
good,
stuff.
Stacey.
Excellent
Worked
stuff.
All right, have a
Some
good
just
day.
nuggets,
Thank you.
nuggets.
Yeah, build the relationships. Quit looking at the dollar signs.
Yes, love that.
Cool.
And don't listen to the hype. That's what you started with. Don't listen to the hype. She's like, I don't listen.
Yeah,
to
just
the
work.
hype.
I've
Just-
always said that.
Put your head down and work. So,
Yep.
good stuff. Thank you, Stacey.
Bye, guys.
Guys, thanks
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Call us if you need us. We'll see you tomorrow on the mastermind. Okay, same time. Take care.
Same time, everybody.